In 1945, George and Jenny Sodder put their children to bed on Christmas Eve in Fayetteville, West Virginia, and then their house caught fire and 5 of those children were simply gone, with a complete excavation of the ash and rubble turning up nothing. Not one bone, not one tooth, nothing. And that is the problem. George Sodder was an Italian immigrant, a coal truck owner, a man who had built a life in the West Virginia hills. He and Jenny had 10 children. 9 were home that Christmas Eve. Morris was 14, Martha 12, Louis 9, Jenny 8, Betty was 5. The older children had asked their father to stay up late. He said no. He told them to go to bed. Around 10 o'clock he did the same. He locked the front door, turned off the living room light and went upstairs. It was an ordinary winter night. Cold, dark. December 24, 1945. At around midnight, Jenny woke to the phone ringing. A woman was on the line asking for someone who didn't live there. Wrong number. Jenny hung up and noticed the lights were still on downstairs. She smelled smoke. She woke George. The house was burning. George got 4 of the children out. He tried to climb back in for the other 5, Morris, Martha, Louis, Jenny, Betty, but the flames beat him back. He ran to the side of the house to pull down the ladder he kept there for emergencies. It was gone. He tried to move his truck to stand on it and reach the 2nd floor. Both trucks would not start. He ran a quarter mile to a neighbor's house. No phone. He ran back. He tried throwing water from a rain barrel. He screamed for the children. No one answered. By 5 in the morning, the house had burned completely to the ground. It had taken 45 minutes. When investigators arrived Christmas morning, they sifted through every inch of the ash. Bones survive house fires. They always do, fragments at minimum. The heat required to fully incinerate human remains exceeds 1800 degrees Fahrenheit and requires hours in a cremation furnace. A residential house fire doesn't do that. But the search of the Sodder property turned up nothing. No bones, no teeth, no trace of 5 children who, by every account, had gone to sleep upstairs hours before the fire started. A state investigator declared the children dead and closed the case within a week. The fire chief agreed. Cause: faulty wiring. The children consumed. The Sodders did not accept that. George dug through the ash himself by hand for days. He found nothing. And that is the problem, because there should have been something. The official theory is that the fire burned hot enough and long enough to destroy the children completely. It was electrical. It was accidental. 5 children died, their remains reduced to unrecoverable ash, and their parents were simply too grief-stricken to accept it. This theory has supporters. The house was old. The wiring was questionable. George had asked the power company to inspect it before. A residential fire can burn intensely when walls are dry and conditions align. And grief, investigators noted, can make people believe anything rather than an unbearable truth. Accidental death, total incineration, a family that could not let go. That is the tidy answer. But remember, no bones, not one fragment from 5 children. And here is what the official theory cannot explain. In the days after the fire, multiple witnesses came forward saying they had seen children's faces pressed against the windows of a passing car, driving away from the direction of the Sodder house in the early hours of Christmas morning. The ladder George kept on the side of the house was missing before the fire. Both of his trucks failed to start that night, but started without issue the next morning. The phone line into the house had been cut before the fire began, not burned through. Investigators found the severed line lying on the roof, intact. And a local man told investigators he had heard someone threaten George Sodder months earlier. That person had said the house would go up in flames and the children would be gone. That man was never seriously investigated. That threat was never explained. In 1967, 22 years after the fire, Jenny Sodder received a letter in the mail. Inside was a photograph of a young man in his mid-20s. On the back, someone had written, "Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie. Illo boys, A90132 or 35. No return address. No explanation." Jenny had the photograph examined. Investigators said the face bore a strong resemblance to what Louis would have looked like as an adult. The letter was postmarked from Kentucky. No one ever came forward. No one ever claimed to have sent it. The case has never been reopened. George Sodder died in 1968 without an answer. Jenny died in 1989. Their surviving children placed a billboard on Route 16 for years with the missing children's faces. It stood until the 1980s. If 5 children burned in that house, where are their bones? And if they didn't, where did they go?